Om Amma. Know the basics of Sanatana Dharma. Episode 13. Today's topic. What is the relevance of Ramayana today? Dear friends, Ramayana and Mahabharata are not just epics. They are cultural roots of Bharat. The Indian identity centers around these two personalities, Rama and Krishna. Rama and Krishna are not just gods, avatars to us. They are our very breath to us, our national heroes, our cultural icons, our source of inspiration and beacon lights. In this episode, we shall discuss about the relevance of Rama and Ramayana to us. Dear friends, in Sanatana Dharma, everything is worshipped as God. So Rama is divine to us and we worship him as an avatar of Lord Vishnu who appeared on this earth as an embodiment of Dharma. We will discuss about the concept of avatar in future episodes. We shall discuss why and how the personality of Rama inspires us even today. How Rama became the cultural icon of Bharat. How life of Rama is relevant to today's youth. Let us try to answer these questions. Friends, Ramayana begins with a question by sage Valmiki to Narada. Sage Valmiki wanted to know about a contemporary human personality who had 16 great qualities. Then sage Narada narrates in brief the journey of Rama, that is Ramayana. By the order of Brahma, the sage Valmiki writes Ramayana, the historic national epic. Ages rolled over, yet it inspires us. Why every being was attracted towards Rama? What was the secret? Dear friends, birds like Jatayu fought for him and sacrificed their lives. Squirrels served him. Monkeys and bears became his army. Sages blessed him and were eagerly waiting to see him. Tribals gave him hospitality as he walked into the forest. Citizens of Ayodhya wanted to go with him into forest, leaving everything aside. One brother followed him like a shadow to serve him in the dense forest, leaving aside his own family life. Another brother renounced the kingdom that was thrust on him by a royal coup and lived as a hermit and ruled the kingdom by placing Rama's sandals on the throne. His wife Sita was always united with him in heart, though abducted and tortured by the cruelty of the lust and was tempted by the riches and poor. Everyone wanted to sacrifice everything for this person. What is that personal cherishma that wooed them all, that weaved them all around him? What is the secret? The secret is the beauty of Dharma. The beauty of Dharma. I repeat again, it is the beauty of Dharma. How Rama's every action inspired everyone. Dear friends, yes, As the sun shines, the whole world responds. His luster of Dharma shined throughout his life journey, Ramayana. He was adored as an embodiment of Dharma. He stood for Dharma. He lived for Dharma. As he moved, every being felt the divine presence, including his enemies. His bow and his arrows became the symbol of protection for the meek. He was ruthless to the evil. He gave refuge to every person who sought him the protection. His eyes were filled with compassion. His words were filled with sweetness. His gestures were always friendly. He stood on his words. He walked beauty. As he walked, beauty oozed from his very movement. He was intelligent. He was a scholar, a great administrator, a perfect diplomat. When sent out of his kingdom, he was calm and accepted the situation. He wanted to fulfill the promise made by his father to his stepmother by sacrificing his career as a king. When his wife was abducted, he explored every inch of the forest with determination and was lamenting all the while for his beloved. He gathered his army from monkeys and marched across the ocean by building a unique and historic bridge across it. Even today, that bridge stands as Rama Setu. He devastated the enemy prowess by being simple and humble. He even respected the enemy and gave away the conquered kingdom to the enemy's brother. Returned to Ayodhya after 14 years of exile, only to establish Ramarajya, an ideal governance. At every step of his life journey, he stood for Dharma. As people loved him, revered him, emulated him, and worshipped him. That was the greatness of Ram, the national icon of India, the Bharat. Swami Vivekananda says, Rama, the ancient idol of heroic ages, the embodiment of truth, of morality, the ideal son, the ideal husband, the ideal father, and above all the ideals of all the ideal king. This Rama has been presented before us by the great saint Valmiki. These are the eternal words of Swami Vivekananda about Rama. We can have an Indian government with clean and perfectly just administration, have before us the example of Rama's rule, says Gandhiji. By abandoning his kingdom and living in the forest for the sake of truth, Rama gave to the kinds of the world an object lesson in noble conduct, Gandhiji writes. Gandhiji was inspired by Rama. Rama mantra was his constant mantra during his freedom struggle. When he was breathing his last breath, he was saying, Hey Ram. That was the inspiration the Gandhiji had on Rama. Let us see the impact of Ramayana. Many kings of India emulated Rama since ages and gave a good governance. Dharma has become a highest goal of human endeavor in India after Rama. Even moksha is considered as the Paramadharma, courtesy Rama. Family bonds became stronger among siblings of India. The sacrifice and enduring difficulties have become the highest values of the land. Example, the Pandavas of Mahabharata. Sita became a symbol of purity and chastity among women of India for ages. Swami Vivekananda says, we consider our mother and sister as pure because they have taken the ideal of Sita. In the onslaught of foreign invasions, the woman stood for the India and the purity of woman has really, really protected India. That is what the words of Swami Vivekananda. The word Sitaram had become the synonym for ideal husband-wife relationship. Sages, sage Vyasa, who is after Valmiki, retold the story of Rama in Mahabharata, in Bhagavata, and in many Puranas. Every region of India, in every language of India, Ramayana was translated and has become a cultural identity. Great devotee saints like Tulsidas, Kabir, Ramadas, Tyagaraju, Kamban sweetened this land with the devotion of Rama. Ram Nam had become an household name in India, a powerful mantra to face adverse situations in life. Dramas, dance ballads, art, architecture, sculpture were all influenced by Ramayana. Many South Asian countries, even today, accept Ramayana as their cultural identity. Father of our nation, Gandhiji, was inspired by Rama, and Rama was his mantra during the freedom struggle. Friends, Mata Amritanandamayi Devi Amma says beautifully, in Rama's mind, which was in perfect harmony with nature, his kingdom and the forest were the same. Because his mind was fully under his control, Lord Rama found no difficulty in adapting to circumstances as they changed. Being an Atma Rama, one who delights in self, he found bliss within himself alone. Today, when three people live under a single roof, they behave as if they were living on the three different planets. There is no real bond between them, no oneness of the heart. This is how the powerful people's selfishness has become. If our minds are not strong enough in those conditions, the rate of mental disease and suicide will increase, says Amma. Friends, now let us discuss how today's younger generation can learn from Rama. Today, dear friends, family relations have reached an end. Bond between brothers and elements of sacrifice between family members can only be restored by taking clues from Ramayana. Ramayana has to be taught to them from the very young age. Rama sacrificed his career to fulfill his father's promise. Youth of India should at least care for their parents in their old age, getting inspiration from Rama. Rama had respect to elders. When we read Ramayana, we will understand what kind of respect Rama had towards elders. Today, adultery has become rampant. Even the law is not recognizing the adultery as a crime. Only the purity of Ram and Sita should bring back the lost harmony and trust between husband and wife. The strong mind of Rama to accept every situation in life should inspire you and free them from mental tensions and suicides. Dear friends, Rama was embodiment of Dharma. Dharma was given the highest importance to protection of Dharma. When there was a conflict between Raja Dharma and Pati Dharma, he gave importance to Raja Dharma. That means country first, family next attitude. A great soldier should have this attitude. Even the politicians should learn a great lesson from the attitude of Rama. Country first, family next attitude. His personality traits of sweet words, good gestures, his leadership traits of building an army from the forest dwellers to challenge the mightiest should inspire youth. His feeling of oneness with the entire creation has earned friends in animals and birds, the nature lover. We today should become nature lovers and protect our environment. learn from Ramayana how Rama behaved with the nature. His administrative abilities were wonderfully described in Ramayana. Management students can learn a lot from Ramarajya of Ramayana. Dear friends, we will do one more episode about Ramayana, and there were many critics about Rama's character. That also we will deal, and we will also explain in detail in future episodes. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.